Agada.
Mbijan raganya.
Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyingi.
Okay. What's that? Nsila ID soto.
Ah, that's sorry. Agada.
Mbijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara Allah service o tariya.
Ah,
mbare ki janna nun kunu bara tariya.
Ah, jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbali ya bere. Ha. Birim koyna fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolong blabe to.
56 branches mola soto Gambia jam.
Ha?
Ha. Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol. Nko kodo kiya bere to. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta même na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw. Jannom number 1 ti nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi man domorol din fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Ha wo mo yo diat ha.
Apelenta
baraka ba. Ni na lafta nyelen kendol e bina.
Yalo bu kanyi la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Abaraka.
Him that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes.
But don't you know about Baloo?
Baloo? What is Baloo?
Baloo is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Baloo works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to baluo.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Baloo, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Baloo, better than sending money.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Biliomatic exercise book printing machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Biliomatic printing machine, GPPC can now render high-quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
Soto manding na pare nyumba. Ani manna sikula. Na kibaro lo soto kabonna banto. Itole mi itande na linga minti invoice bala mangi kilo. Yamna man filo soto alla jogo ba. Hani mon filo soto kanto sidula ke mo. Nkata ko wala bondi je ka fo me withholding tax. Withholding mu? Kabre mo mala ko lew dal. Mu ne fo mo wati. Hey, yalla tembe me fole. Ila boss man na sai jal be no ko be jola sai.
Withholding tax. Coming aya fonye nyami wala mnamuti membe larin contract jolta kabo contractor la jolto ika do kuwal menke anin ika safari to ning supply abe wol kono technical wala consultancy services sidula ke modo sidula tak ika wala bondi Gambia dingol tato anik sidula tanelu wala ka bo safari la tato mun yalo ko wol make Gambia dingoti mi yeta do kuwala ika fo mi contracti wala nyanda kanyi namo jo tata Gambia office bunda to mun yalo ko wala be marare na namo la ko ke nyalla andu joro anyanta kera karo men ya kuntu ka boyla joto wala karo men be wodo man janning ala titan dilo de timman
Sa mun de la na faade wo
ila na faamu min dige wala min diko
Mais certificate o le dire la mi alon ko ni bita jiade. Ibu wala sambala nyola.
Mu nekk da sibla tan ñi na le min bonen na invoice o.
Wasi dula tango wala be bole ile ko dodo inyata kamu jona modo.
Ye so akamuna o sibla tan ñi umunde la advance na mu jolde.
Bo wala nyama?
Ba ko wajanta ka ñim fonte. Ndol be ngaro ne ko bankola yurwana la ñanta be sunni banku di wala na mu jolla.
Ana wato
Ñing kibaro potanali e Gambia Revenue Authority le. Nimmil lafta kuma koyo sotola ila namoto ika famie withholding tax. Akata ye futa GRA la bundato min sutiya tela. Gambia Revenue Authority ibe namu kaniwala bankola nyato tale.
GRA bankola namu nyana jola tukare kana nyina.
Hello, welcome to the special coverage of the Standard newspapers, mayoral and chairmanship election coverage 2023. Now, over the next couple of weeks, of course, the Standard will be bringing you interviews with the aspirants from all sides of the political divides. Today, we start this series with the mayor of Kanifing municipality, Talib Ahmed Bensouda. Unknown Talib Bensouda came to the spotlight in 2018 when, among a gallery of candidates, aspirants from the United Democratic Party, he was elected mayor of KMC. Well, so much water have now passed over the bridge, and in the last 5 years, 4 or so, Talib has established himself as a key pillar in Gambian politics. He is running for a second term. This time, though, there is a huge opposition in his path. How will Talib manage his way to a second term? These and other questions we'll put to Mayor. Mayor, welcome to the Standard newspaper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good. 4 years ago, as an unknown quantity, you were elected mayor. But like I said, 4 years on, 5 years if you want, you have become a pillar in Gambian politics. First of all, how do you achieve this?
Thank you, and thank you for having me. I think I came into politics as a newbie around 5-6 years ago. I assumed the office of mayor around 4 years ago. And as you've rightly said, I am new on the block, but now getting a track record and having spent time in the political arena. But I think the key to anyone's success is consistency. My mantra is to work hard, is to use my time in the most effective manner, and especially the time that is not my own, which is the time of the people, to ensure that every given minute I continue to work hard, and of course to stay loyal to what is the Gambian dream or Gambian ambition, is to have a better life and to have peace and harmony amongst its people. And of course, I subscribe to the United Democratic Party, and I am loyal to their principles, which is to serve and of course to adhere to the democracy and civil rights, and to push for the unity of the country. So the consistency in following all of these things together is, I guess, what has made me successful.
You have built a solid admiration across the political divide, largely because people believe you came with a vision of KMC and was able to achieve a lot of visionary tangible programs that they think are exactly what the people, in fact, the larger community of the Gambians need. But your critics said you haven't done anything tangibly that people could say, yes, he has done this. What do you say to that?
First of all, I want to say the reason that I get multi-partisan support is because I have a people-centric plan, and everything I do is about people. At the end of the day, it's not about tribes or parties or religions or genders. It's always about people. As long as you are passing, even a non-Gambian, as far as you are resident in this Gambia and you live and work peacefully, I am in public office to serve everyone, and I don't discriminate, and this is why people have really been attracted to this vision. It's the only way. It is the human way. Basically, the ones who say I have not done much, well, there's a popular quote that most Islamic scholars say that even the Prophet had critics. So who am I to not want critics?
If you are on fire, telling them tangibly what you have achieved, can you make a rundown?
It's been several. I mean,
can you make a rundown?
You look at okay, of course, the biggest project we have ever embarked on by any council, of course, the waste management project, which is unprecedented. Remember, councils are very poor and small in this country and not given much seriousness and focus. So for us to come and fix this entire waste collection of KM within a very short period of 3 years with just us, no support from outside government, no support from international bodies, but using taxpayers' funds smartly, buying 24 trucks that now the taxpayers own, worth north of $2 million or $100 million. I think that alone, it goes without saying. The very critics that talk receive service from our Baloo project.
Yeah, the Baloo project is a fraud. And I had the President of the Republic say that you are charging people. And of course, I had reactions for him that he probably didn't know much about this. Absolutely. That's why he said he will not charge, or that the very act of charging should not have been the case. How do you reply?
I think it's a very poor statement, especially from a head of state. I think it's irresponsible. And it's not everything should be about politics. They are charging for utilities. They are charging for ferry crossing, for bridge crossing, for bus services. They are charging for ID cards, for schools. Nothing in this world is free. Somebody has to pay for it. So if anybody declares that something is free, it is because they are not paying for it, somebody else is paying for it. Whether it be foreign aid or whether it be grant funding, somebody is paying for it. So when they say the modality of how KMC is charging is what they think is not correct or is what they think should change, then we have an argument.
Exactly what do you mean by that? Like the rate?
Yeah, so I want to establish that nothing in this world is free to begin with. I think if we agree.
So if they say the modality.
Yeah, so when you say modality, they're saying that we should charge the Mbalit inside the rates system. But today I ask you to pay upfront or pay at the end of the year, you have to pay.
You have to pay anyway.
There's nothing free in this world. So they are trying to use that to trick the population and to fool the population. When government is charging basically for all services.
So basically
for all services.
If he promises KMC that I'm going to bring a waste management system where you will not pay, you think
it's false. Yeah. And he's saying that because he's known we've done the hard work already, which is paying for the trucks themselves. All when they have tried to punish us and make it more expensive for us by charging us duty. If he had that pity and sympathy for the population, he should have waived the duty or not allowed the government to charge us duty. But it's all political talk. And no matter what now, they cannot achieve anything because they don't have a council. The council is already under the control of the United Democratic Party, and the council is the one that can levy charges or lift charges. The mayor is just a figurehead. So basically what I want to establish is the reason we are saying people pay upfront is the same reason Gamcel is telling people buy your credit. It's the same reason NAWEC is saying pay cash power upfront. Because once upon a time, Gambia used to have an effective billing system where at the end of every month, they can send you bills and they know you will pay because the addressing system was somehow working and majority of settlements were not built up. But now that addressing system virtually does not exist, there's several settlements without any addresses or way of finding people. All government departments have moved from postpaid to prepaid.
Now, people said you have embarked on, ambitious projects when you came.
Yeah.
You just entered the budget projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which your critics criticize, but you've been able to get them.
Absolutely.
What are the other areas that you have initiated and that you yourself can call
Yes, so on waste management side, of course, not completed yet. You have the Bakotedom side, completely transformed. Yeah, both with taxpayers' funds, which is the fencing of it, and of course with grant funding from the German government called the BMZ Project, which has infrastructure in there. We have recycling hangars built, concrete roads built. We have a water reservoir, a network system. We have a solar system fully working at the dump site, toilet blocks, and a green zone. And we just got notification that we will get a scale up of the project, boasting another $40-something million. So that has been an extremely successful project. And I always say, you don't have to ask us, the politicians. Go to the ground, ask the residents what impact they have felt. Everybody who lives in Bakote will tell you they have felt a vast improvement in their health and environment since we took charge. On top of that, you come to market infrastructure.
They said you have no buildings.
It's false. So the reason I'm not very keen to answer some of these questions. I mean, if you want an honest debate, let's debate. But if you just come and say blank statements, which you know is false, is quite terrible. Everybody knows we have built Talinding Jilifitikunda market from scratch. In everybody's eyes, they are looking at it. Everybody knows we have built Koto market, almost complete. Everybody knows we have built Latrikunda market, albeit through with some funding from Gamworks, i.e. Gambia government, but we contributed towards that market. Not only that, government built 72 shops. We have built an extra 100 shops from ground zero. We are right now fully rebuilding Talinding Yafatu Njai market with $7 million. So we have built 4 markets during our time. But the important thing is, it's not about just building for building's sake. When we came, markets existed. KMC has 19 markets. When we came, all are dilapidated, underutilized. Some are not even full. So what is the point of building new markets when your existing markets are not working? So we have rehabilitated over 12 markets during my time with tens of millions of dollars. One market, we actually built a concrete road of about 400 meters around it, which is Serakunda market. We constructed Latkumbalo road from scratch with $4 million. Serakunda, we expanded with a shed worth $3 million and about 36 shops. And these are all projects we funded from the grass. So we have done a lot as far as market infrastructure. However, we are phasing into a new era, which we can talk about when we come to our future plan.
Now, your critics also said the management of finance. You said you have boosted revenue.
Absolutely.
But they said your management of finance was criticized in Parliament and that many aspects of procurement were given to people who are close to you, inside trading. How do you?
I think these are all false statements. Now, when it comes to the FPAC and Parliament and their scrutiny of council's accounts, most of the observations are about the competency of the finance department to do checks and balances, to have backup documents, etc. We don't hire our staff. These staff are hired by central government. So we cannot be accountable for people we do not hire. And this is why we've been advocating for decentralization. If you have an institution as big as KMC, with a ACCA and a finance department with the right accounting background, when you come to Parliament, there are bookkeeping errors. Who's to blame? You blame the government because government are doing the recruitment. Right. So, and we also, as a council, remember, we are policy makers. We do not manage finance. So who are you to blame for management of finance? If they allowed us to hire our own staff, we will then have full control and be fully accountable for bookkeeping errors.
Your country particularly had a lot of turmoil in relationship between you and the central government. That was the case of the suspended and whatever CEO and other things. You took action which you thought was appropriate in the wake of allegations of corruption. But then your critics turned back to say that you yourself have some dirty lining. I said, what do you make? How do you
dirty lining in the sense?
Like this, you paid councillors salaries that, whether you give them loans that were not paid or you overpaid them.
So there's one argument on procedure and there's another argument about fraud and corruption. Procedure-wise, everybody can make an error. That's why the Ministry of Government, local government as a regulator and policy maker should regulate councils and say, oh, giving salary advances to councillors is not correct. But right now, there's no regulation that says salary advance to a staff or a councillor, which is a norm in every institution, is not correct. Because this is not a gift. It is an advance that they will pay for. Because they have an emergency at their house and it will be deducted at their salary, out of their salaries. As we stand, there's zero balances.
So if anybody called that corruption, that's inconsistent.
That's not corruption. Then it means the entire government institutions, every business in this country is corrupt. Because every business, every institution, whether it be the NGO, everybody gives salary advances. And it will be very interesting to find a staff who claims they have never received a salary advance. I've worked for 4 institutions. The only institution I have never received a salary advance is KMC. But every institution, when I was a worker, I have received salary advance. But now I'm a business owner. I don't have use for that. So basically, on the matter of the things we reported as fraud and corruption, now this is a different ball game. If we are serious as a country, fraud and corruption can never be accepted or entertained. And once it is reported, should be immediately investigated. It's not something that you have to ask, what procedure did you use to send somebody on leave? It's like a murder. If a murder happened or any serious crime, you would investigate it immediately. You would not go to the police and say, no. The procedure in which the crime was reported was not correct. Or the procedure in which you apprehended the suspect was not correct. So therefore, the murder, we should let it go. That's basically what this government is saying. It's saying we should let the murder go, the crime go, because of the manner in which we have sent the person on leave is not correct. So we find that this is what is breaking down the system of this country. And now corruption is rife in every department, even now in the private sector.
Well, they said Tinubu's case might be okay. There might be eyebrows raised in that. But they said there are other people, allegedly deputy mayors or something, whose conduct might have also not been above board. But you kept that under the carpet because maybe you are in good.
So they claim. So why didn't they investigate? This is a government we are talking about. With Attorney General's chambers, with the police force, with the fraud squad. They should have added the Anti-Corruption Unit. They should have passed the Anti-Corruption Bill. And no matter who it is, if corruption is reported, it must be investigated. Here we saw the audit report from the National Audit Office. Government should not talk about anybody's corruption because the own audit office has billions of dollars unaccounted for, has bookkeeping errors in the billions of dollars, has expressed explicitly high degree of corruption in many of their cases. So we are talking in KMC terms in 1 millions or tens of thousands of dollars. One issue they raised, $200,000 deleted from the rate system. Fine, investigate it. But also prioritize the high level, which is $600 million disappeared at the Ministry of Health. $400 million disappeared at ports. The Banjul project goes without saying. So we are not here to point fingers. We say, let's approach our country in an honest and ethical manner, and then we can build a nation that everyone can be proud of. But now, Mr. Cham, even at the university level, there's money for grades.
Sex for grades, they call it. Money and sex for grades.
So where does it stop?
It's alarming. Let's also talk about another thing there, your critics cover. I mean, you're going for re-election.
Yeah.
Unlike your first term, there seems to be now a more determined opposition in your party. Many people take your case to be a mini president. I mean, the government, and President Barrow in particular, is so much obsessed with Talib Bensouda and wanting so badly your downfall that this now become, an encounter between you and him rather than Bakari Badi was supposed to be your candidate. Did you feel the same way that many analysts said this is becoming more than just a country election? For example, they suspected President Barrow might suspect that you probably could be a potential presidential candidate. In that case, you can cause problems for us. Do you have such a feeling? Many analysts say it.
One thing I can tell you for sure is, I've said it in many platforms, I don't believe Bakari is my opponent. I think he's a tool government wants to use, like you said, to uproot me from my position. And I've said many times that I don't feel that I'm competing with anybody but the Gambia government. They are, of course, throwing every tool in their chess box to disrupt and distract even our work at the council. And it's appalling because all we have ever stood for is development, progress, unity. Many times I've even reached across the aisle to the president himself, cabinet ministers, the NPP, to collaborate. This country is too tiny for certain activities to prevail. It is very tiny for us as leaders to be divisive. So I think long term, but they seem to think in terms of political expediency. But I always think, what are the repercussions of our actions in 10 years, 20 years, when the NPP is no longer in power? God knows what party will be in control. What we want in our country is sustainability and consistency. We want separation of administration and politics. We must make sure that civil servants are not used as political pawns or tools. And I am afraid that since the past regime to this regime, it is intertwined, meaning that there will always be disruption in government services, especially when there's we need a professional government and we need visionary, mature leaders. So, like you said, of course, I feel that way. I feel that they are ganging up. I feel that they are very focused on KMC, and for all the wrong reasons, not the right reasons. Because when they talk, I don't hear their agenda of how to uplift the lives of the people. I don't hear how they will bring about solutions to big problems like the Bakote Dam side. All I hear is words of attacks, words to discredit my personality. And I believe these are some of the reasons they failed in the councillor election. I use an example always. If you have a product and you go to market, you talk about your product instead of trying to bring down the competitor's product. They have focused so much on trying to tarnish the competitor's product that they have forgot to sell their product.
That's quite interesting. Now, you went through a nomination, and the general analysis said, like you said, you had a resounding success in the area council elections, and if that results are anything to go by, you can really be excused to dream that you will be re-elected. However, your opposition is saying that they have a different approach. They said they learned from their failures in the parliamentary and the council elections. They believe their militants or supporters did not come to the ballot. You believe that's the case? They are able to mobilize them?
No, I don't believe that's the case. I think for them, they believe everything is about money. And they are very focused about corrupting the registered voters. Secondly, the way in which they approach politics is damaging, because they always think about today. They use tribal politics to try to divide the people. They use monetary politics to try to incentivize and induce the people. And they do a politics of attack and trying to discredit. It's some of the nastiest politics I have ever seen. There's no motivation, there's no inspiration. inspiring the people with plans and ideas. There's nothing about trying to sell the character and the character traits of their candidates. A very pessimistic campaign can even demoralize your own supporters. Your supporters are saying, okay, you are trying to make me hate the opposition, but you're not inspiring me. And inspiration is what energizes people to go out and vote. If they feel like they have a base and vote, it's because that base is no longer inspired to go out and vote for them. And maybe that base, because of that, does not exist anymore. The people who supported you a certain year, if you fast for 6 months, may not be there anymore. Yeah. Because maintaining a political base takes a lot. But the most guaranteed way of maintaining your support base is inspiring them, is belief. We have not gone out as a party to give anybody money. We simply don't have it. We have not gone out of a party to threaten anybody. We don't have the power to threaten anybody. We have not gone out to create tribal politics. On the contrary, we are trying to attract people through messages of unity. And we came out with 16 seats. I say 16. I know Serakunda is under contention, but it's agreed that, I'm sorry, Bartes, and I believe that because it's malpractice, both attested by the IC and other parties.
He said they made a mistake.
Yeah, so we got 16 seats and we got double the NPP vote. That cannot be by mistake. That is because something has fundamentally shifted in the sands of KMC. Is that the UDP, my leadership, our councillors are attracting people. We hear people who said for the first time in their lives they voted for UDP. Some said, I never imagined I will ever vote for UDP. What does that mean? It means the NPP base they had is slipping away. The politics of division, the politics of tribal politics, of bigotry, that they were able to successfully achieve in the presidential is not resonating anymore in the local government election. So what is more secure, what is more guaranteed is one, do work that people can trust and always point at. That gives them confidence. The second one is inspire that their future will be better than it is today. This is what is guaranteed in politics.
You still didn't answer the question, but President Barrow, many believe, is thinking of you with a potential challenger in the future. And that's why directing much of his energy.
Yeah. It's because the problem is one, true, I don't like personality politics. I don't like to go into the personality of people. I like to talk about ideas and programs. But I don't know what President Barrow is thinking. I am not him. I am not in his private meetings where they analyze. All I hear is rumors. I cannot deny that I hear these rumors. All I see is they are very focused on me. Like, for example, he went
they
to...
said you probably, well, you call it success. I mean, you've been able to run the municipality in such a way that everybody admired it. But they said you run it as if your own government within the government. So they're really concerned that you're running it as a UDP government, a mini UDP government. You give respect more to Lawyer Dabo in your functions than President Barrow. So they said, well, I mean, is he running a government of UDP? Oh, I am the president. So
well, it is a UDP-led council. Meaning it's a UDP-led.
I mean, Gambians are not used to
local government. Yeah, but everybody attests that we have run it in a multi-partisan way. We have respected the APRC councillors there, the PDOS councillors. We have supported them to achieve whatever they can in their wards. I will always love and adore and respect Lawyer Dabo. And nobody can take that from me. And just because I love somebody and I respect somebody doesn't reduce any respect I have for the president. I respect the president, he's the head of state. It is the portfolio that whoever holds it must be respected. But I adore and respect my party leader because that's the person who inspires me to want to be in politics. We must be mature about how we run this country. Every structure of government cannot be under one party. All over the world, local governments can be controlled by one party, parliament can be controlled by another party, the executive can be controlled by another party. But when it comes to the supreme interest of this country, we must put our political colors aside. And I have done that. I have done that at even my own political risk. I have done that to the point I have even been accused of trying to cross-carpet to the NPP, all because I wanted to set an example of how this country can operate and run successfully.
You mentioned you embrace people from all political divides.
Exactly.
Dr. Ismail Sise of CA was once quoted in the media to say that you wanted to have a relationship with him in an advisory role, but your party members really scared you and you never could come back to him.
No, that is not factual. I wanted to build bridges with everybody. I have once called former Lai Conte Mayor, who was APRC, former Mayor Yankuba Koli, APRC, Mayor Keba Jallo, who's PPP, and we formed a task force to advise me on borders of KMC. We had series of engagements and meetings, etc., and we could not find a solution because there's no record. But people have known that I have reach across the aisle. I offered Dr. Ismail Sise to offer me advice whenever he wants. I did not have to put it in writing, but I put it in writing so people can see, wow, this is a new Gambia that we were asking for. But Doctor has never offered his...
Your party did
no, there was... That's false.
And you closed the door.
That's not factual. Everybody knows. Whoever wants to see me can see me. Whoever wants to offer advice. I have spoken to...
President Barrow just said a few days ago that you are not accessible. He said they want a mayor that everybody can access.
Has he tried to access me and get denied? Well, that's what I'm saying. Has he tried to access me as a president? So, first of all, we are UDP-led council. We are UDP-led local government. But everybody has attested that we have been the most accommodative as far as multipartisan politics. We have had APRC and DOE councillors who we supported over the years, given every opportunity for them to excel, and who never felt any sort of discrimination. And you can ask them if you would like. I think this is a well publicized. Secondly, I think we came into the council with majority of staff who were active politicians for the APRC, whom most of them subscribe to APRC, but we have not changed or got rid of any single staff. The ones under the former mayors are still there, and they are the majority. When we have seen the government target UDP specifically, people they believe to be UDP, and got rid of them. So I think that is what the government does and not what we do. Secondly, we are regulated a local government council. So as far as we are following the laws of this land, following the constitution, following best practices, the rest is just small talk. About mayors being accessible, I think at a presidential level, he should not talk like that. That is beyond a president's way of talking. What happens at local government councils cannot possibly be of his knowledge. If they say mayors are not accessible, the president ever tried to see us and determine that we are not accessible? We have no choice but to be accessible. Maybe when people say they are finding it difficult to see us, is because the queue is long. Unlike a state house, there is no restriction to seeing mayors. So every person from the community, as a grassroots politicians, wants to see us at the same time. From morning to evening, we see people. On Wednesdays, we go to our political office, which is here, where we have unrestricted access. Because in KMC, we do have to take breaks and do work, because it's work that's put us there. But at the end of the day, I think the attestation will be at the ballot. At the end of the day, I always say the people will always make the decision.
And how confident are you on that ballot?
We are very confident. I think I'm more confident in this election than my first election. This time we have 16. So, meaning that we have more support riding behind our backs going into this mayoral than we have ever had. So we are very, very confident.
And you believe your records? President Barrow famously said that your first time is the people, but your second time is your own.
Exactly, and I think the second term is already showing that the people appreciate our performance. Every people, the first thing we appreciate you, we're behind you. And I think the councillor elections is an attestation. And remember, in the National Assembly election, we had 3 councillors from 3 political parties. Musa Cham, PDOIS of Serekunda London Corner, Suleiman Jammeh, APRC of Bundung Mortani Ward. We had Musa Baji, who was farmers nominated councillor representing farmers. from Talinding Kunjang, and all of them became MPs. 3 out of 3 political parties. It just shows you the amount of appreciation people have for the work at KM.
And you want to say their platform was they were KM.
Of course. And you know, in the UDP, the ones that went for election, the United Democratic Party contested, all 11 incumbents came back.
Interesting. Now, I know you're going to react to this with humility, but people even in your party and outside are becoming to say probably you are too popular for your own good, that you one day will really have to have a head-on confrontation with your own people who might come out overzealously to say that you will go for a leadership challenge in the United Democratic Party.
It's too early, you know. In politics, one day is like a year. Anything can happen. For us, we just have to always focus on a day-by-day level, one goal and one mission at a time. Right now is mission local government council. Next, it will be a mission to unite and expand the party. And there's many young, brilliant people in the party. And I am glad that this election has united us thoroughly together. I have seen people who I was very distant with in the party now by my side on a daily basis. You have people like the likes of Mamadou Sabali doing house-to-house campaign for me, attending every rally and introducing me with all his people in his campaign team. And you know, this is the beauty of the party. It is a family. Families have their squabbles, we have our differences, we have our different ideas, but at the end of the day, when we face the outside world or opponents outside, we are family. And this is why the United Democratic Party is special.
Finally, a message to your electorates, the people who are going to vote on May the 20th.
Like I've always said before, politics is about ideas, it's about the upliftment of the people and the community. But it's all about this country, so we cannot divide ourselves or allow politicians to divide us on artificial lines of tribe, religion, age groups, gender. We must always focus on how can we come together and bring our country out of the darkness. So my message is I am here to build you up. I am here to develop you. So please give me your vote, give me your support. I am your public servant, and I will bring about more rapid development than I have in my first term. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Well, that's about it. The Mayor of Kanifing Municipal Council, Talib Ahmed Bensouda. Next week, we hope to hook up with one of the candidates in the round. Until then, I'm in Cham saying goodbye.
I hope you understand now.
Yes.
This is your withholding tax certificate.
Thank you.
Sorry, sir. Give me a few minutes. Let me finish with her. I am not here to sit. I received an alert from my bank. It's like you made a mistake. The amount transferred to my account is different from the amount on the invoice I issued to you.
No, there is no mistake. We deducted 10% as withholding tax.
Withholding what? In fact, what is withholding tax?
As he just told me, withholding tax on contract payments is a deduction from payment made to contractors carrying out work, supply of labor or materials, and or provision of technical or consultancy services. 10% is withheld for Gambian residents and 15% for non-Gambian residents. The contractees remits the amount withheld to the nearest Jari tax office in the month of deduction or on or before the 15th of the following month.
what's my interest?
You will be issued a certificate which you should take to GRA when you go to pay your quarterly and annual tax.
What happens to the 10% deducted from my invoice?
That 10% will be less from your tax liability.
So it means the 10% is an advance payment of my tax liability. And I only pay the difference of my tax due for my quarterly and annual payment.
Correct, sir.
Buba, you should have told me this. We all know for any meaningful development to take place in a country, we must pay our taxes.
And on time.
This information is from the Gambia Revenue Authority. For more detailed information about your withholding tax obligation, please visit any of the nearest GRA offices. The Gambia Revenue Authority, collecting revenue for national development.
We live in a day and age where technology is creating a world without borders, filled with unlimited potential to improve the lives of the people around us. Innovarex Global Health ushers in a new way of leveling the playing field with increased access to quality healthcare services delivered at your doorstep. Our qualified professionals are equipped with state-of-the-art point-of-care testing technology to conduct tests such as kidney function, liver function, electrolyte tests, body composition, hemoglobin, A1C, and many more services with the highest efficiency in delivering results. The addition to our flagship, Wellness on Wheels, more fondly known as WOW Delivery Service, brings the entire clinical experience full circle. IGH has remained committed to creating the future of healthcare delivery. Gone are the days of sending loved ones outside the country for basic medical services. Innovarex Global Health offers a new peace of mind and takes pride in delivering the quality of care we all deserve.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.